Yes, let's start today's session. So this is the first session of .NET Core subject. So this session is completely demo session. So you can get the information regarding .NET Core and what subjects I'm going to cover in .NET Core course. You will be able to receive complete information in this session. Okay. So first of all, you must know that .NET basic history. What is .NET and what kind of subjects we need to cover or we need to learn if you want to become a .NET developer, and how much time I'm going to take to complete all the subjects related to .NET Core will be discussed. First of all, what is .NET here? Okay, you are going to learn .NET course. So then I would like to explain what is .NET. So first, .NET is not a, it's not one particular kind of subject. .NET is nothing but it's a combination of subjects. So .NET is a framework. It is a framework. Okay. So which is designed and developed by Microsoft company. .NET is a framework which is designed by Microsoft company. Okay. But initially, .NET announced by Bill Gates. .NET was announced by Bill Gates in the year of 2000. The first version of .NET framework was released in the year of 2002. Okay. So what is .NET? It is a framework. You can't say .NET is a programming language or .NET is one kind of technology. It is just a framework. Microsoft designed the .NET framework. In this framework, there are so many subjects are involved. That is languages and frameworks. Okay, frameworks and design patterns. Everything will be there in .NET only. So that once you learn .NET course, you will be good at framework related topics and language, programming language related topics, and web technology related topic, web designing purpose and web application designing purpose. That framework related information also will get. So who is the author of .NET means you can't say a particular person. .NET is completely designed by group of people which are related to completely Microsoft company. That's what we can say .NET framework designed by Microsoft only. And the .NET first announced by Bill Gates in the year of 2000. Okay. And the first version of .NET was released into the market in the year of 2002. At that time, from 2002, okay, people use completely .NET framework only. .NET framework only. But okay, nowadays the people are using .NET Core framework. .NET Core framework. I'll explain you clearly what is .NET framework. That means plain .NET framework, and what is .NET Core framework. And strictly remember, our subject is completely .NET Core related topics only, not framework related. .NET Core framework I'm going to explain because this is completely updated version I'm going to explain you. Okay, you will come to know that at the end of the session, what is the scenario which we are going to learn. Okay, so this we are going to learn completely .NET Core platform, .NET Core framework you are going to learn, not .NET plain framework. But initial days of .NET history, like from 2002 to 2015, I'm explaining clearly, from 2002 to 2015, 2015, people were use only the plain .NET framework. This is .NET framework, which is completely related to platform dependent case. Okay. From 2016, from 2016 onwards, people are using .NET Core framework, which is completely related to platform independent. Platform independent, we can say that, independent. So please get the clarity now. Okay, the initial or beginning days of .NET. So from 2002, because first version of .NET was released in the year of 2002, from there onwards, Microsoft is offering to the developer to use .NET framework. This is completely platform dependent. Here you must aware what is platform dependent, okay, and what is platform independent. Very simple that. Platform dependent means the moment when we write .NET framework logic on particular operating system, for example, Windows, and that .NET framework completely work on Windows operating system only. Look at this. I'm trying to say Windows OS only. Windows XP in the olden days. Windows 7, Windows 10, like that only. In all operating, Windows related operating system, Windows Vista, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11. It works only Windows operating system. The reason why, .NET is completely product of what? Microsoft. And the Windows operating systems also completely product of what? Microsoft only. Got clarity? That's what in the beginning days of .NET from 2002 to 2015, programmers were used .NET framework, which makes platform dependent. That means once they design and develop .NET application code, which can be able to run on only one operating system like Windows operating system. Platform dependent means what? Which will support only one particular kind of operating system, which is not support all kind of operating system. But during the period of 2002 to 2015, the best competitor of .NET is what, Java. Java programmers were use their logics, their application, which they can able to run on all operating systems like Windows, Unix, Linux, Mac OS, Solaris, and so on. So what the Microsoft think that, so .NET we are making completely commercial environment only. That means the people in the commercial point of view, they were think once the programmers or software companies, once they started use .NET framework, they must and use their operating system only. They don't allow to use other operating system like Mac OS, Linux, and Unix and all. So that's what they were recommend to use only Windows. So .NET can only run on Windows operating system, which makes platform dependent, which cannot be able to run on any other operating system. Up to where? 2015. But Microsoft people realized that, okay, due to the heavy competition, which is mainly faced from Java people, because already they are in platform independent nature. Okay, that's what they plan to release a new version from 2016 onwards. That 2016 onwards, they plan to release .NET Core framework version. .NET Core indicates that, which means platform independent, which can be able to run on all operating system, including Windows. So that's what in the olden days, the all .NET programmers were used only .NET framework, which can support platform dependent nature, which can be able to run on Windows OS. But nowadays, from 2016 onwards, Microsoft released so many versions of .NET Core framework versions, .NET Core in the sense which can be able to make platform independent. That means once the programmer design and develop .NET Core application, that application can be run on all operating system like Windows, Linux, Unix, Solaris, Ubuntu, and so on. Okay, that means it's equal to almost Java, because Java also platform independent, .NET also platform independent. Okay, that's what people can take freely decision to implement their application on which technology, where they are going to have the comfortable .NET or Java. Okay, so that's the reason we are going to learn compulsory market updates we need to follow. Nowadays, software companies are following .NET Core version. You must learn .NET Core version only. But why I'm telling this information means you must know the .NET aware, .NET information completely, because you are going to start learn .NET, how it was initial days and what we are going to learn nowadays. So we are going to teach complete in our session .NET Core related subjects only. From 2016 onwards, .NET Core framework, platform independent, all operating systems will be run. Okay, but I'm trying to explain you very quickly .NET framework versions, how it was, sir. Okay, you said that the first version of .NET was released in the year of 2002. But what was the .NET versions? Okay, and also along with the editor tool. You know what is editor tool? Very simple. Editor tool is nothing but what? Any programmer, for example, C language, C++. Okay, C programmers, C++ programmers, they were use editor tool like what? Notepad or Turbo C or Code Blocks. They're having some popular editors. Same like Java programmers, they were use editors called Edit Plus, NetBeans, Eclipse, like that. And .NET programmer, as a .NET programmer, what kind of editor tools we are going to use? The editor tool is a famous editor tool for entire .NET application. Visual Studio editor tool is there. Okay, Visual Studio editor tool. So Visual Studio is just editor tool which can be allow you to write .NET application code and compile and execute. So editor is nothing but what? Just it's a platform where we can able to write .NET code and execute. So this editor tool through only I'm going to explain entire the .NET logics. Okay, and what kind of subjects also what kind of subjects I'm going to cover. I in detail I'll explain today. You just listen carefully. Okay, if you have any questions regarding this at the end of the session, I will allow you to speak with me or ask any doubts so that I can clarify your doubts. So right now I'm talking about Visual Studio editor tool. This editor tool only I'm going to use in the development process. But the editor tool is different and .NET frameworks are different. I'm trying to give in the olden days .NET framework versions as well as editor tool versions. As I said that the first version of .NET was released in the year of 2002. And what was the first version of .NET framework? 1.0 is the first version of .NET framework. At the time of 1.0, what was the editor tool means? Visual Studio. Simply VS I'm writing. Listen carefully, VS. And then later, they were introduced 1.1 .NET framework version. So now at that time, they were recommended to use VS 2003 editor tool. And 2.0 .NET framework version, at that time, they were recommended to use VS Visual Studio 2005. And 3.0 is the .NET framework. In that context, they were recommended to use VS 2005 only. That's what I'm trying to say, not applicable. And 3.5 is the .NET framework. So at that time, they were recommended to use VS 28, Visual Studio 2008. And 4.0, VS 2010, Visual Studio 2010. And 4.5, this is only .NET framework version. So far, I have not disclosed .NET Core versions. Listen carefully. So as a .NET developer, you must know all these rules and regulation. That's what I'm explaining detailed. So .NET framework and editor tools respectively. And 4.6 version, they were introduced. Now VS 2012 is for 4.5 and VS 2015 Visual Studio 2015 is for 4.6. And later they were introduced 4.7 .NET framework also. And in that context, they were recommended to use VS 2017. Okay. And later they were included, they were used 4.7.1 or 2, both versions, 7.1, 4.7.1 or 4.7.2. They were recommended to use VS 2019 is the editor tool. And 4.8, 4.8, this is the last version of framework. After 4.8, we are not going to see .NET framework versions. We are going to see core versions only. At that time, they were recommended to use VS 2022, Visual Studio 2022 version. Okay, this is the Visual Studio 2022 is the version which we are going to use. And .NET framework version, these are. Okay, 4.8. Framework versions are different and editor tools are different. Okay, but listen carefully. These are all completely .NET framework versions, but I am not going to use .NET framework versions, you know very well. Okay, why? Because our complete subject is related to what? .NET Core versions. So let me explain what is the .NET Core versions here. Okay, so what is the .NET Core version? .NET Core versions are different and framework version is different. Okay, so let me explain that .NET Core version. Why .NET Core means? Already I said that .NET Core is nothing but simply platform independent point of view. Okay, platform independent point of view. Okay, platform independent point of view only. So this is the case. Next, let's complete .NET Core versions also. Let me explain. As of now, what I explained, that is .NET Framework versions, and .NET Core versions also I'm going to explain. .NET Core versions. So that we will come to know what is the .NET latest core version, which we are going to cover in our syllabus. Okay. Yes. So let's talk about .NET Core versions, sir. See, .NET Core version, first .NET Core version, look at this, 3.1. Okay. So let me explain .NET Core version. .NET Core 3.1. Okay, this is the which was released on December 13. Released on December 13, 2022. Later, they were introduced .NET Core 5.0. Okay, which is released on May 10, 2022 only. Released. Okay, yes, 2022. Next, .NET, .NET Core 6.0, which is most popular, released on November 12, 2024. Currently, which we are using .NET Core, latest version is 8 only, but let me check 7.0, which is released on November, May 28, 2024. Okay. .NET 7, May 28, 2024. Okay, 2024. And look at this .NET Core 8. Look at this .NET Core 8.0. This is the latest released on .NET Core 8.0, released on May 28, June 2024. This is the latest one. We are going to mostly focus on .NET 7 or .NET 8 core version. Okay. Why? Because why I'm not going to give confirmation, just because of once we launch Visual Studio 2022 editor, so there we can able to select the core 7 version as well as core 8 version. So we will mostly focus on latest version 8.0 .NET Core 8 you are going to learn. Ultimately, we can say .NET 8. So people, once they were released .NET Core version, they used to call .NET 6, .NET 5, .NET 3 like that. Core version these are. .NET 6, .NET 7, .NET 8. So we are going to focus most of the cases .NET 8 in our sessions completely. All .NET 8 related subjects only I'm going to focus in this case. Okay. So ultimately these are the core versions and framework version which I explain. And whatever I have written this core version 3.1, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0, 8.0, this completely, okay, this completely platform independent versions. Platform independent in the sense what? Platform independent means which can be able to run on any operating system, which can be able to run on any operating system, .NET Core versions. Platform dependent means .NET Framework version. Nowadays, no one using .NET Framework version. Very less companies who are already developed the projects which is on .NET Framework platform. They're still continuing their project on .NET Framework only. But from 2016 onwards, even 4.8 version onwards, Microsoft updated versions have been released .NET Core version. But actually look at this .NET Core. I said clearly the statement. Don't get confused here. From 2016 onwards, we are going to use .NET Core options. But 2022 only Microsoft has released .NET Core 3.1. But before 3.1, there is a core libraries are there already from 2016 onwards, which was not become popular. So .NET 3.0 Core version onwards, it became a popular version. That's what I have written .NET Core 3.1. But forget about all these versions, which we are not going to use. Just you have to know that what kind of versions are there. But anyway, we are going to use .NET Core versions 7 or 8 latest versions. Okay. So Microsoft recently released the stable version .NET Core 8.0. We will be focused on .NET Core 8.0 from now onwards. Okay. Yes. Now coming to the point. Sir, you said .NET is a framework. In this framework, if I want to become a .NET programmer or .NET developer, what kind of subjects should I have the knowledge? Means what kind of subjects awareness? So look at this in this .NET Core .NET Core course. I'm going to explain these many subjects. First subject is compulsory you must and should learn, that is C#.NET. Okay. So this is C#.NET. Some people, some students are having interest to learn only C#.NET. For them, I recommend first 45 days to 50 days, you just attend my lectures, .NET Core lectures. First 45 days to 50 days, my focus is completely on C#.NET programming language only. Because some students are going to focus to learn only C#.NET, not complete other .NET subjects. For them, I recommend to learn only C#.NET for first 45 days to 50 days. But if you want to become full-fledged .NET developer, so I recommend C#.NET. Along with C#.NET, there are other frameworks also there, which I'll write now. First of all, what is C#.NET? Let me write all the subjects. C#.NET. Next, ASP.NET Core. Next subject is ASP.NET Core MVC, Model View Controller. Next subject you are going to learn ASP.NET Core Entity Framework. Yes, Entity Framework. And fifth subject is ASP.NET Core Web API. ASP.NET Core Web API. And sixth one is Microsoft SQL Server. Yes, you know that why Microsoft SQL Server. MS SQL. Okay, Microsoft SQL Server. I'll tell you why generally MS SQL, what is the required to learn MS SQL in this .NET platform. Okay, so total these subjects I'm going to cover in entire .NET core syllabus. Listen carefully. C# .NET, ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET Core MVC, Model View Controller, ASP.NET Core Entity Framework, and ASP.NET Core Web API and MS SQL Server. Let me explain the each subject purpose actually. And I can say that in entire all these 6 subjects, you are going to learn only one programming language that is called C#.NET. And other than this C#.NET, no other technologies or programming language. These are all complete different frameworks. In different cases, we have to use. First, let's cover about C#.NET. C#.NET is a programming language. What is C#.NET? It's a programming language. Generally, any programming language can be used to design, can be used to develop the logic part or coding part for the application development. Yes, for the application development. C#.NET can be used to write logic part or coding part for the application development purpose only. Okay, this is the programming language. And listen carefully. In entire .NET Core, okay, syllabus, whatever the logical part we are going to write, that is completely belongs to C#.NET logical part. You are going to learn complete basics of C#.NET. And many of the .NET learners, .NET programmers who are going to learn .NET, they may ask the question, sir, C#.NET is a programming language. Is there any prerequisite knowledge to before going to learn C#.NET, like C language basics, C++ basics are really required or important to know before going to start learning of C#.NET? They might ask many questions like that only. But I can say as a trainer, you need not to worry about C#.NET. Okay. Sir, if you don't have any prior knowledge of C language or C++ basics or any programming language basics also, happily you can start learning from C#.NET because in C#.NET, I'm going to cover complete basic rules and regulations, how it was in C language, C++, like operators, data types, functions, what we can say, data structures, all are I'm going to cover in C#.NET orientation only, so that programmer need not to worry about the basics. From scratch onwards, I'm going to teach complete C#.NET syllabus. In basic level programming, intermediate level programming, and advanced level programming, we will be covered in C#.NET point of view, so that only C#.NET, if you are looking, the duration of this C#.NET programming language course is 45 days to 50 working days I'm going to cover. Okay. And complete PDF, each and every subject soft copy of material, we will be hand over it to your mail. And even every session is going to be recorded actually. Today onwards, this is the first session, and please continue the sessions. And every day recorded video will upload to your Google Drive. That videos are going to be have the lifetime access. It will not be expired. Okay. So this is about C#.NET. It's a programming language. Generally, any programming language can be used to develop logic part for the application development process. And what about ASP.NET Core? Yes. See, previously, when we use ASP.NET framework, only there was ASP.NET, which can make platform dependent. But we are trying to learn .NET Core, no? So just because of .NET Core only, I'm trying to cover ASP.NET Core only. ASP.NET Core means once we develop web application using ASP.NET Core, which can be run on any platform, any operating system clearly. So what is ASP.NET Core? Listen carefully. ASP.NET Core is not a programming language. ASP.NET Core is a framework. Okay, framework, which can be used to build the web applications, which can be able to build the web application using ASP.NET Core. We can able to build what's a web applications. What is web application? Simple. The application the application which will provide, the application which will provide the services over the web is called web applications. Over the web or over the internet is called web applications. We can say that the application which can be provide services over the web is called web application. So in entire .NET Core, if you want to build or develop web application, what framework is required? ASP.NET Core framework is required. Okay. In the ASP.NET Core framework only, we are going to introduce a design pattern that is called MVC design pattern. And look at this ASP.NET Core, and the extension is what? ASP.NET Core MVC also there. So this is the design pattern actually. With this design pattern, we are going to build ASP.NET web application with the effectively, that is MVT design pattern. In MVC design pattern, what is meaning of M? M stands for, okay, M stands for model. V stands for view. V stands for view, we can say that. And C stands for controller. C stands for controller, we can say that, controller. Model, view, controller. So same ASP.NET Core, how it was to develop web application, we are going to have the design pattern in the web application development. Most of the cases in real time, we are going to follow the MVC design pattern, model, view, controller. So here just nothing but if you go with only ASP.NET Core, all the layers of code we are going to write in one location, which will not good practice in reality. So that's what we are going to extend MVC design pattern, that is model, view, control. So here I would like to explain what is MVC, exactly how it works. Okay, basic idea I'm giving. See, there are total 3 layers are there, sir. Model is nothing but what, data access layer. Data access layer. Data access layer is nothing but what? It is completely related to database. Database related code we are going to write in model. Okay. View is nothing but presentation layer. Presentation layer. Presentation layer. This presentation layer is completely for what? Designing purpose. Designing purpose, what can be used generally? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and then Bootstrap. Bootstrap is very important tool which can be used to develop web application effectively. Database purpose, we use what subject? SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. And controller is nothing but what? Business access layer. Business access layer, we can say that. For this business access layer purpose, we use what logic? C#.NET logic we are going to use. Listen carefully how it is. In the development of ASP.NET Core web application, okay, websites. This is website only. In the development of ASP.NET Core web application or website, we are going to use ASP.NET Core MVC framework. That is M for model. Model means data access layer. That means database design. Database design purpose, what subject we have to learn? Microsoft SQL Server. Look at this SQL Server, structured query language. Okay, in the real-time process compulsory, every programmer should have the knowledge of database also. That's what I'm going to teach you SQL Server knowledge complete. And don't think so SQL Server basics only. Not, sir. That's not correct. I will teach complete SQL Server top to bottom. So you will be able to apply a job for pure SQL Server also after attending my sessions. Don't think so. This is completely .NET sessions. Sir, maybe teach SQL Server basics only. No, it's complete top to bottom SQL Server. You will be able to get in-depth knowledge of SQL Server also. Okay, I'll tell you at the end of this session, what is my criteria. First, what subject I'm going to teach orderly so that you will get full clarity. I'm saying once again, SQL Server in-depth knowledge you will be able to get. Even though after completion of learning, C#, ASP.NET Core, MVC, Entity Framework, Web API, SQL Server, if you are not able to feel comfort with the programming knowledge or framework knowledge, If you are very comfortable in database development or database knowledge, you can also apply a job for only purely SQL Server developer. So there are plenty of opportunities as a SQL Server developer, that is database developer. And if you are interested to write some logics and programs, you can apply job role for only C#.NET programmer. So it's a combination of subjects actually. Even after getting a job on .NET, your role may be fixed by company. You might be involved in the part of development C#.NET logic or ASP.NET Core MVC logic or entity framework logic and web API logic, or they might be assigned the task to the right SQL Server related task only. So your job role fixed by your company, but you should have the knowledge on all these subjects once you apply job for .NET programmer. .NET programmer in the sense they must have the knowledge on all the subjects clearly, which I explained. So model is nothing but database access layer. That means in the model case, only database purpose we use SQL Server subject. Yes, Weave is nothing but what the moment when customers or end users, when they open any website, first what they are going to see on the screen, that is called presentation layer, that is design. Generally, how to design websites or web pages using HTML, hypertext markup language, and CSS, cascading style sheet. For HTML page, do you want to give styling? You can apply CSS. And after styling, do you want to make functionality? We can apply JavaScript functions or JavaScript logic or jQuery logic. And do you want to develop your website more rich look interface? Then we can apply Bootstrap. Don't worry about this design HTML, CSS, jQuery. We will be also cover complete HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap basics also, because once you know how to design ASP.NET web page using this web technology. These are web technologies or UI technologies, we can call it as, because in every web development process, compulsory developer should have the minimum knowledge of designing also. That's what I'm going to cover: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap knowledge also I'm going to give in the teaching of ASP.NET Core MVC. And finally, so look at, sir, we are having database knowledge. So database is nothing but where we can store customer information or end user information. That is in the form of tables we can store. Fine. Design also we are providing. Presentation layer means what the customer is going to see on their screen. That is called user interface. User interface purpose we use design. Design is ready and storing the details in the database is ready. But functionality where logic part is very important. No, that is what we are going to use controller. Controller is nothing but completely action methods. What action do you want to take place from the user interface through database? That action methods we will write in controller part in the MVC pattern. That is business access layer. This business access layer complete logic we are going to write with what language? C#.NET language. That's what main core subject is, C#.NET only, sir. Listen carefully. Okay, it's very, very important actually. In our complete syllabus, major focus you must do on C#.NET, which is very, very important. Logic part, complete programming part, we are going to write using C#.NET logic only. So C#.NET through we can develop logic. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap through we can design web pages. And SQL Server through we can store the database tables and all. We can store information in the database tables. So this is how MVC, how it works. Just brief introduction I'm giving. Later, once we complete C#.NET, the moment whenever I start ASP.NET, so there you can able to see MVC pattern. Complete this design pattern through only we are going to develop some web applications and all. Fine, sir. First subject is language, and second subject and third subject is for web application development with MVC pattern. It's okay. Web application development we are going to design. What about this entity framework, sir? ASP.NET Core Entity Framework. Yes, look at this. ASP.NET Core Entity Framework means without writing SQL queries. Look at this. Without writing the SQL queries. Without writing the SQL queries. SQL queries means what? Statements. SQL queries. SQL queries. to perform, to perform the database operations, to perform the database operations, we can use entity framework. Okay. Yes. ASP.NET Core Entity Framework is not, entity is nothing but database related tables. Without writing the SQL queries to perform the database operations, then we use Entity Framework. So Entity Framework is having some tool, okay, like ORM tools are there. These tools can make C#.NET logic into SQL queries automatically. Migrations will be there. So without hitting the SQL queries to the database, we can perform the database operations purpose. We use ASP.NET Core Entity Framework. Entity Framework is nothing but like what? To communicate with the database without writing raw SQL statements. Okay, later you will come to know that. This is Entity Framework also we are going to cover. Fine, sir. Entity Framework, Core MVC, C#.NET, it's okay. But what about ASP.NET Core Web API? Web API is nothing but what, First of all, this is very important subject in entire .NET Core or in entire any subject. Even if you go for Python full stack development, Java full stack development, people also, they use APIs. RESTful APIs they use in Java. Python developers, they use REST API, Django REST framework. In our .NET, we are going to use Web API. First of all, API stands for Application Programming Interface. API stands for what? Application Programming Interface. Yes. So what is API is nothing. API means, API is a software tool. API is a software tool which enables the communication, communication between two or more applications, which enables the communication between two or more applications. Listen carefully. With ASP.NET Core MVC, with the C#.NET logic through, with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap design through, we have built web applications clearly. But do you want to make your web application should interact with other application? Then compulsory what is required, sir? API software tool is required. So in .NET development, do you want to generate any APIs? What subject we are going to use? Web API. So what is API? Application Programming Interface. API is just a software tool which enables the communication between two or more applications. In real time, listen carefully. This is very important. APIs. APIs are very important. Let me share one simple example. Suppose you are using in your mobile device some apps like Swiggy app, Zomato app, Flipkart app, Amazon app we are using. Suppose you can assume that Flipkart app. So you want to buy a product through Flipkart app. You have read the specifications of application, product application, product details and all. And do you want to buy that product and you are proceeding to buy that product? After buying the product, your Flipkart app should be able to communicate with your banking application or not for making payments. But imagine that your Flipkart application and banking application, how they communicate with each other, because the Flipkart app is designed or developed which technology you don't know. And your target banking application customers are having, they have a different bank account like HDFC, ICICI, SBI, Access, and so on. But do you give guarantee all the banking applications are implemented on same technology like .NET or Java or Python or something? No. And your source application like Flipkart and your target application for doing payment transaction with bank application, this both application must and should be communicate or not? Who is going to provide the facility to communicate between Flipkart to your bank application means APIs. So API will get the request from your Flipkart application. That request will send to concerned banking application. After completion of transaction, your banking application response will go to API. API will give the response to the Flipkart application. So that application request and response will takes place with API only. So ultimately, I can say API act as a middleman service or mediatory service. That's what APIs are very important role will play in real-time implementation. That's what ASP.NET Core Web API subject is very important after completion of web development of ASP.NET Core MVC. Okay, so SQL Server is nothing but this is for database communication. So database knowledge purpose, we are going to teach SQL Server subject also. So now coming to the point, after knowing each and every subject which I'm going to cover in entire .NET Core syllabus, first 45 days to 50 days, my complete focus on C#.NET, because without having knowledge of C#.NET, you cannot move towards ASP.NET Core and MVC, Entity Framework, Web API. Okay. And this SQL Server at any point of time or any time you can able to learn, not a problem. Because to learn SQL Server, there is no prior knowledge of C#.NET and all. But one thing I can say, once do you want to move towards ASP.NET web development like Core MVC, Entity Framework, Web API, compulsory C# knowledge is required. To learn C#.NET, there is no prior knowledge of C language or C++, trust me. Okay, that's what my focus is completely on. First 45 days to 50 days, C#.NET. Once I complete C#.NET, then immediately we will start SQL Server, sir. Why, sir, SQL Server? Why not ASP.NET? Because the reason is, in the ASP.NET web development, we are also communicating with what? Database. But if you want to communicate with the database, first of all, priorly you should have the knowledge on SQL Server or not? Yes, because in the web development process, front-end design, that means UI technologies. We are going to design with this technologies only. Okay. Backend means database. Also, you must awareness, database storage and all. So first C#.NET, then after that SQL Server. Finally, we are going to complete focus on web development, web application with ASP.NET Core, MVC, Entity Framework, Web API. This is the order which I am going to follow in the lectures. So to complete all these subjects, the total duration of the course is how much, minimum 4 months, maximum 4.5 months. Duration of this course is compulsory 4 months it will take, because the syllabus is vast. You must cooperate. Okay, so no matter how many days you are going to learn, how much subject you are going to learn is matter. Trust me, that is. So this is total duration 4 months minimum, maximum I'll take 4.5 months. Do you want full knowledge? You must cooperate with us. So trust me, if you enroll for this course, especially my lectures, at the end of the day, you will not disappoint. This much guarantee I can able to give that. But your cooperation also very important. You must attend regular sessions so that conceptually you will become strong knowledge. You will get strong knowledge. After that, attending the interviews and getting the job is very simple. It's not a big deal. Okay. So this is just a demo session from my side today. This is the first session, and this demo video our DurgaSoft team will upload on YouTube channel. DurgaSoft YouTube channel is there, and first 4 to 5 demo sessions they'll upload .NET related demos. After that, they don't upload any more videos. After 4 to 5 demo lectures, you must enroll for this course. After enrollment process over, I'll get your mail IDs from DurgaSoft. Once I'll receive your mail IDs, I can start sharing the video lectures and complete material of C#, ASP.NET Core, and every subject PDF I'll say to you or Google Drive. Okay. So this is from my side today. And if you have any question, feel free to ask me now. It's your turn. And sessions will happen regularly from Monday to Saturday. Only Sunday is the holiday. And every day the session will begin sharp 7 and end will 8 p.m. only, 7 to 8 p.m. that is. So this is from my side today. Do you have any question? You can feel free to ask me now.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, C#.NET, and you are not covering any API development, only core API. So you are covering only web API, right?
Web API, core ASP.C API completely with web application related only.
No, correct. In our organization, we are not using any web application. It's a fully like a core API only we are developing.
Okay, how it was now? Like, see, the thing is, API code also we are going to write with C#.NET logic.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
But it little differ, right? Like you are calling from one web to another web using your DC APIs. Ours
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like only we are
that's
call
correct.
only pure. We are not using any ASPs. Only like C#.NET core only we are using.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Sir, at last, will you also share the programs also?
Obviously, everything is there in my PDF, including whatever the programming or logic part when I start, that also there.
So we will be also doing any project.
Yes, in the ASP.NET web application development, I'll show that project development. That is a part of our
Okay.
course only.
Sir, I'm just asking about that programs, what you will develop in the sessions. Those programs, workspace, will you share after the
That's what that programs and everything point to point and step by step I have included in the PDF.
So PDF only you will share and this.
PDF also I'll say this is simple logic. I'll tell you. For example, not after one day, tomorrow after. Once I start development process in Visual Studio 2022, I think you are asking that project folder which I am developing complete. That folder also I'll make it rare at the end of the C#.NET. I'll upload to your Google Drive. You can extract it directly, load into Visual Studio, no problem at all.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I understand that. Project folder, whatever I implement in the classroom, that I can share to you, that folder completely. Everything will come to over in your laptop with VS Code.
right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please proceed.
Sir, entire video session will be uploaded or it will be edited?
Can you
Entire
please tell
record
me?
session. I mean, entire recorded session will be uploaded. Sir, in
Yes, yes.
the,
This session is right now currently recording. Same recorded video will upload to your Google Drive for lifetime access.
and it will be not edited. Right?
No, no, no.
Like,
I'm not going to give edit option because if I give edit option, what was the problem is some students have been deleted from my drive, then it's not available to for my previous students. That was a big problem for me. So that's what I'm giving only view option. Lifetime you can able to watch the video.
like in middle time, you can pause the video and you can continue, and after that, you will proceed. That it is not like that, right?
No, no. See, editing option, why I'm not giving means the people once they can't once they receive the video, they can able to watch the video through Google Drive only. They can't able to download, they can't send it to someone.
Okay, okay.
You can watch it.
And one more thing, sir, like the question was like when you're recording the session, right? Like you will not be pausing it somewhere and then again continuing it, right? So complete 1 hour will be recorded and the same 1
Yes,
hour
yes.
session will be sent to
Yeah,
us.
that's what. See, now we
Yeah.
are helping each other. No, this also will be recorded. Then you can listen.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
No pausing.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Actually, it's about project. Do you have planned for industrial level project about all this technology, at least for 10 or 15 days for one, demo project?
Yeah, that's what you see. How much what we can say length of the project I can't disclose, but complete real-time orientation, what we are going to learn in the course, that we are all topics will include and we'll build one project.
Yes, because no, sir, actually the learning is different and the real time.
Understand.
Yeah,
Obviously, the
if
conceptual wise learning is different, and
yeah,
the same concept which will be included in the real-time implementation is different. That's I can understand. Same, I can show you clearly, step by step, how to build a project, and that project folder also I'll hand over it to you.
yes,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Sudhakar Reddy, 6 months access. Yeah, our DurgaSoft team commonly what actually in DurgaSoft so many faculties are there. Usually all the faculties are giving for all courses 6 months access only. They thought that I'm also giving 6 months access, but for me, you just consider I'm giving a word from my side. This is not 6 months access, lifetime access, videos access completely from my side. So just through mail, they'll send like that only, but take it my word, granted. Lifetime
Okay.
access, undoubtedly.
Thank you for that.
So in this course, are we going to see like integration with AngularJS or React.js?
Yeah, if really needed, Angular and React also will be included in ASP.NET Core. But actually, I don't think really so it's required because ASP.NET Core framework only will offer a lot of facilities. If really more design and more tools are required, third-party tools, I can include it, no problem. In the project development, that will happen.
Okay.
And the regular time will be this only, na 7.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So when will the regular start, sir?
Can you tell me, sir?
Regular classes will start on which date, sir?
This is a session you can consider. Just demos we will conduct because you join today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, at least 3-4 sessions you can attend so that it will be just for your how I'm teaching, whether you are able to understand my lecture or not. This is just demos for you only, not for me. And this session will not be repeated again. It will be continuation process only. Okay, regular in the sense paid link. Paid link. After 4-5 days, they'll make paid link. So who are interested to continue my lectures, they can make the payment and they can use same paid link and continue the sessions. These 5 videos after demos also will receive these 5 video lectures to your Google Drive.
Okay, sir. Thank
you. Mr. Vishnu, yeah, I'll cover the complete basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and part of MVC only, exactly. Because what kind of HTML and CSS, JavaScript, jQuery libraries we are going to use in the web development that will be helpful to in the web development process. That part I'll cover completely. Before going to start ASP.NET, complete 10-day sessions will be conducted on UI technologies only. Because without knowing them, you can't able to build or design websites.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for attending this session. Have a nice time. See you
Mohan,
tomorrow.
this is Hemant.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently we are using in our project .NET Framework 4.7.1.
Oh,
but we are going to teach about .NET Core work, Core framework, right? Does it there any difference between like training differences? What way I'm learning right? Sorry, what I'm doing right?
Yeah. See, sir, actually, there is no much more bigger differences with .NET Framework and .NET Core. Coding,
Okay.
the way of writing code and everything is same. Only just what I said, .NET Framework makes you platform dependent, your code. Your code may not be run on other platforms. But what we are going to write, what we are going to teach .NET Core, no, once we write development of .NET Core framework through, which can be able to run on any OS.
Yeah, I do understand that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is no differences, but flexibility and what we can say facilities will be more than .NET Framework, which you are using. In the core, more facilities are.
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear it.
More facilities are there in core framework. They are offering Microsoft offering more facilities to build application in efficient way.
Yeah, yes. That I do
options are
understand.
there. That options we are going to see in Visual Studio only. See, in the Visual Studio, they are providing options to select if you want to build a web application, which option do you want to select? For example, you are the .NET Framework familiar person. You are selecting .NET Framework only. That options are different. But we are going to cover .NET Core. Core, I select that options are completely different.
Okay.
Core means a maximum built-in libraries they are offering. So programmer task will become very easy in this. But framework means you have to build your code from scratch. Like that, differentiations will be there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And when we are going to start these regular classes or all?
See, that's what I'm saying. This is the regular sessions only. Why don't you consider?
Okay.
Will not be again tomorrow. Tomorrow from here only I can start.
Okay.
Just
for the same time, right?
The sense nothing but people observation is important. How I'm teaching, whether you are able to catch my points or not. then continuation it is.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure. We will wait.
coding sessions maybe start from day after tomorrow. Because once I launch VS Visual Studio settings, then I'll start immediately C#.NET logic part only completely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah.
So that's all from my side today. Have a nice time. See you tomorrow. You can use same link tomorrow also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.